Okay, I am dealing with every letter of doubt right now, and so I just wanted to make this video because if you're dealing with every letter of doubt in God, then it's something that is like not easy. It's like you feel shame because God does so much for good for us like in a day, and he's just been so amazing to me, but I've just been dealing with so much doubt because there's a lot going on in my life, and I know like God is like God, like he's all powerful, he's all amazing, he do exceedingly abundantly more than we can ask or imagine. And so I'm like, God, I've been asking you to do exceedingly abundantly more than you can ask or imagine. Like I need all these things, like where are all these things? And so I'm also dealing with a lot of voices coming at me. Like I watch a lot of preachers, I listen to a lot of people's opinions about who God is and what God can do, and there's a lot of people who are going through a lot right now with like losing a job, not having money, almost losing their house, their marriage is falling apart, they're very depressed. And these people are like crying out to God and seeking God, and it's just like, it seems like, is God doing anything? So I'm just dealing with all of that. It just compounds, and then the things that I'm dealing with in my head. So it's just like compounding and compounding and compounding. But then that's when I like turn to God, and I turn to the Word, and I turn to people that I really trust, like John Piper. And I watched a video about cynicism and doubt, and when you're reading the Word and God. And so he just brought up some wonderful scripture in Mark 9. I want to believe it's about the man who brought his son who was possessed by a demon, and he brought his son to Jesus, and he said, well, I hope that you can heal my son. And then God's like, if I can heal my son? And he's like, if you believe, like all things are possible. And the man said, well, I believe, God, but help my unbelief. And so that's like where I am. I'm like, God, I believe, but help my unbelief. Like I feel such burden and such like a weight when I'm doubting. And so it's just like, God, I believe, but help my unbelief. And there's no shame and condemnation in God, and God is able to come and meet you there. And I love what John Piper said. He was saying, like, you can ask God to help you fight this doubt. Like, you can ask him to come alongside you and just like, and help me just vanquish this doubt and just destroy it from my being and destroy it from my spirit. And just to help us, and he can do that. And I never thought that like, oh, God can come in, like I know the battle is the Lord's and he can go ahead of us, but I never thought of God actually, holding my hand and saying, Mary, we're in this together, like I'm going to fight with you through this. Another story I'm thinking of is when Peter was on the boat and he like looked out and he saw Jesus coming, and they were like really afraid because he looked like a ghost, and Jesus was coming toward them, and Peter said like, if that is you, bid me come. And Jesus said, come. And then Peter got on the waves and he started walking towards Jesus. And then all of a sudden this storm came, like, and all like the stuff was going on like beside him. He was like, wow. And then he started sinking, and he was just like, oh. Then he cried out to Jesus like, God, God, God. And then Jesus picked him up and he's like, oh, you of little faith. And so it's just like with doubt, my doubt has that lack of faith and that lack of trust that God is able, like even he's like, Mary, come to me, come unto me, all you who are burdened with a heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Like his yoke is easy and his burden is light. But I'm just like, my faith, God, and I'm doubting, and I just don't believe that you can do these things that you said that you can do, and I'm not believing your word, like I'm not, and I'm just like struggling. So it's wonderful to have this scripture to lean on, and I'm really seeking God right now. I'm really trusting that he'll come alongside me. I'm really trusting that he'll hold my hand in this time. So anyway, I just wanted to just make this, and if you're doubting and if you're feeling that God is not answering your prayers, or you're feeling like you've been praying and God's not answering you, and like you wake up every day and it's just like, I don't have any answers, I don't feel any better, like I'm not feeling everything that God said that promise that he would give me, like you're not keeping your promises, God, and you're not like answering me the way I want you to answer me, like just stay encouraged, seek God, pray to him. He will give you joy, he will give you happiness. Even as I'm going through this, I know that he will be faithful because God is faithful. So I guess just stay encouraged and stay in joy, and just know that God will do what he says he's going to do. So I'm hopeful, and you should be hopeful too. Okay. I love you all. Ta-ta. Ah.